The Jewish people made a deal with God that they would live according to 10 simple rules. This deal was known as the covenant. In return for honoring this covenant, God would bless them in every way. But if they accepted the covenant and then broke it, God would punish them beyond their worst imaginings. The covenant consisted of 10 simple rules, and as long as the Jews lived by those rules, the blessings would continue. And Moses went to great lengths to make sure that the Jewish people did indeed live by this covenant. He was told that if ever the Jewish people broke the deal, the blessings would turn into terrible curses, and he did his utmost to avoid this ghastly outcome. He appointed the tribe of Levi as the official keepers of the 10 rules, and he made sure that the 12 tribal leaders understood the rules and knew how to apply them. But he was mainly concerned with the best and brightest Levites, namely the Kohanim. And he gave them the job of preserving the rules and making sure that the people were correctly taught by the rest of the Levites. This arrangement worked perfectly for many centuries, and Israel's standards of behavior were far superior to those of the nations around them. Many other nations began to apply the same rules, and Israel assisted them in every way possible. But from the outset, God had told Moses that the Kohanim would eventually fail, and would lead the Levites and all of Israel away from the covenant. This general failure would cost the Jews thousands of years of misery. And the Jews still don't understand what they are doing wrong to this very day. And where are the Kohanim falling short? Why do they represent the covenant so badly that they lead humanity away from God? And why is the Christian church losing its influence? And why do so many Gentiles even deny that God exists? And why do the Gentiles never seem to refer to the covenant? Well, the grim Jewish error took place more than 3,000 years ago. The Kohanim began to think that the covenant was their own wisdom, rather than the God-given wisdom of Moses. In short, the Kohanim began to think that they were as wise as Moses, and they caused the Levites to lead Israel astray. The law of Moses was forgotten. The Kohanim created their own rules. The Levites followed the Kohanim, and all Israel fell into the ruination predicted by God. But Isaiah saw things differently. And he was convinced that God would eventually return Israel from its despised state to its high duty, no longer a byword for greed and cowardice. And this would take place at a time when even the mightiest nations were becoming godless, diseased, and cruel. The West is falling into this condition at this moment because Christianity is ending, and godless people are held in high esteem. Isaiah was convinced that wiser nations would realize that their salvation lay only with God and would support Israel. Nations that did not become godly would cease to exist. This applies to the leftists of today. Yonatan the Apostle John was of the same opinion. We urge godly people to click the subscribe button so that you can follow these articles. Paul Kaplan, author.